afternoon, Ian.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Tomorrow is your last day in Vietnam,
Yeah.
right? And I'm going to have an interview about your experience during 1 year in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Firstly, did you enjoy your time in Vietnam?
Yes.
And what did you like?
I like the countryside and the country itself. I love how warm the people are, how much they've welcomed us, showed us into their homes, made us feel very welcome.
And what is your favorite memory?
My favourite memory will probably have to be the wedding. When me and Berit got married here in Vietnam.
Vietnamese traditional wedding.
Vietnamese traditional wedding, yes.
And what is you why did you choose to come to Vietnam?
We found the job advertisement on the internet with the Football Association. It looked interesting. I applied for the job, found out I got it, and we had to really start looking at Vietnam and trying to find out a bit more. The project seemed very interesting, working with children's football, something both me and Berit are very interested in. So the chance to experience a year on the other side of the planet doing something we really enjoy, of course that was a great chance.
So what did you know about Vietnamese culture before coming to Vietnam?
Not very much at all. We knew that Vietnam was a communist country. We knew it was also, there was a lot of Buddhism here in Vietnam, and that people wore conical hats and grew rice. Otherwise we didn't know very much at all.
Did anything surprise you about Vietnam?
Yes, loads of things. We thought that in Vietnam people were a bit more reserved, and we found that absolutely not. They're happy to welcome you into their home, into their houses, want to be friends with you, want to talk to you. We hadn't expected that. It was colder than we thought during the winter. We didn't think 18 degrees could be cold, but 18 degrees can be cold. And for us in Norway, where we live in Tromsø, 18 degrees is a nice summer's day, and here it was cold.
Is there anything you didn't like in Vietnam?
No, not really. Just you get some frustration sometimes because it can sometimes take a long time to do things you maybe thought could take a shorter time to do things. But it's just part of the system, and it's something you learn to accept quite quickly. We've really enjoyed the food, the weather, the people, so we don't really have anything we dislike about Vietnam at all. We love Vietnam.
So what about durian flavor?
Durian doesn't smell very nice and doesn't taste very nice, so it's not the best thing in the whole world.
Why are exchanges is important? Excuse me. Can I repeat the question? Why are exchanges important?
Exchanges are important because different countries, different cultures do things in different ways. And in Europe and in Norway we do things in a certain way, and in Vietnam you do things in other ways. And I think when you make an exchange, it gives you the chance to take the best things from your own part of the world and try and use those experiences to make things better in the other part of the world. And the same for Tin going to Norway, taking the best of what is Vietnamese and trying to help in some way in Norway with a different way of doing things. So it's not just Europe coming to Asia and telling them how to do it. It's taking the best ideas from Europe and trying to put them into a Vietnamese context to improve things here. And the same with the partner coming from Vietnam to Norway and trying to employ the best of what you have into a new context.
What did the FFAB office learn from you?
What did the FFA office learn from me? I hope they've learned to be a bit more open and a bit more straightforward. To say what they mean and say it to the person they mean instead of having frustrations build up inside them. I hope that the internal communication within the office is improved. I hope they've looked at the way I have and Berit has presented courses, and I'm sure it's much less formal than the way courses are run, a lot more relaxed and open. I hope that's positive. I hope that can continue, because I think you get the best out of people when they're relaxed and when you can joke and make fun. But also to keep it within a structure and to be on time.
What did you learn from working in Vietnam, and what did you learn from us?
Working in Vietnam, it's definitely helped me learn about patience. I think I'm going to have more patience when I go home, when things don't happen as quick as I want them to. Living a year down here has certainly given me not much choice in that matter. I've had to be more patient. I think also the way family is treated here, the way 3 or 4 generations can live in the same house. How important the family structure is to Vietnamese. It's very different to the family structure in Europe. And it does make you think more about your family and your parents and your grandparents. But that's definitely a positive thing to take back.
How will your life in Norway be different because of your time in Vietnam?
Well, Berit works as a school teacher. I've been working both in kindergarten, in school, and also with a grassroots club and a professional club in Norway. So we've always had a focus on children. I think seeing the differences between children in Vietnam and children in Norway makes us appreciate a lot of the things we take for granted in Norway, which are luxuries for the children here in Vietnam. We will definitely be working hard to talk to clubs in Norway, to explain the work that's being done down here, to explain to them how much difference football makes to children in all different areas here in Vietnam, in all parts of the social structure. And hopefully we can travel back to Norway and raise some money that can be used to expand the project here.
How is football in Vietnam different to Norway?
Not very different at all. You have a load of kids in an open space and a ball, and they will run around and kick it and have fun. That's probably one of the things that I always took for granted in Norway, that football in Norway was like football in Europe, and maybe football in Asia was different, but it isn't. You give 2 children a football and give them an area of land to play on, and they'll kick a football about and they'll be happy. When we're talking about grassroots, the structure is different, of course, but what happens on the field is exactly the same.
What will you miss most about working in Vietnam?
We will miss work colleagues. We will miss the friends we've made. We'll miss the way. We'll miss the food. But we've learned a bit, so we can make some. It's just, we've lived in Hue for a year. It's home. And now we have to move away from home, and that will always be difficult. We're going back home, so there'll be joy as well in coming back home, but everybody we've met and all the things we've seen will be missed by us when we're at home.
If you could give one piece of advice to the following, what would it be? Firstly, curve developers.
club developers have to realise that they're not working for FFAV, they're working for the children. They're not FFAV's clubs, they're club developers' clubs, and they should do everything they can to help the clubs develop and be better and be more sustainable.
Secondly, about volunteers.
The volunteers have been brilliant. It's a great social thing for the volunteers to meet people, to do things they haven't done before, to have some experiences working with crazy Europeans like me and Eddie and Anders, learning a different way of being and using their free time to actually give something back to their communities and helping the children. I think it's a wonderful project for both students and adults to be a part of.
Thirdly, about football coaches.
Football coaches just have to remember it's all about the kids and it's not about them. It's not about winning and losing, it's not about counting goals, it's about counting smiles.
Last but not least, about office staff.
The office staff are a wonderful mixture of people. You've got everything from the energetic run-around boss to Eddie the crazy Englishman. You've got Nee that loves her K-pop. You've got Tal that lives in the server cabinet. You've got all kinds of people. Bin loves his books. Mr. He loves to sing. Hung got fat and then ended up having a baby. That was nice, Hung. Chung, you're great. I love it when you're awake. You're not always awake, but when you're awake, you're great. Mrs. Hart has been wonderful to get to know. I think she's going to be a real asset to FFAV. And men, I hope your English gets better. It's better than you think it is already, and I know it will get better. And Anders, thank you for giving me the job. We've had a fantastic year, and we've been so lucky to be here. The project will always be part of us, and we'll be working hard when we get home. Fanny, you've done wonderful work for the football festival. I'm sure everybody will be sad to see you go. All the volunteers have been great. It's just been a wonderful place to be around. We're so happy we could come.
Can you speak Vietnamese? Say something to the camera.
My Vietnamese sucks. It is so bad. I can like count to 15 and I can order some food and that's about it. So I'm not even going to try. I'm sorry, you're not getting the chance to tease me about my Vietnamese. I'm not putting it on camera.
So, what about thank you?
Oh
See you
man,
again.
Hang play.
Hello. Hello.
Ciao.
I think it's enough.
I think it's enough as well.
FFAV will be very sad when you leave. Is there a message you'd like to say to FFAV before you leave?
Thank you for our year, and it won't be too long before you see us again. We're not finished with Vietnam.
How much will Berit cry?
Oh, we'll have to find out tomorrow when we finish our meeting at the office. Then we'll see.
Who is your favorite volunteer?
That's cheating when there's two of you sitting here, isn't it? We don't have any favourites. They've all been wonderful.
Thank you for a good interview.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening to my rubbish.
You're welcome too. See you again in Vietnam soon.
Definitely. Hang a play.
See you again too.